You've been in the simulator. Some drivers tested up here. You got 50 minutes of practice yesterday. But this is the first time you're doing it for real. Take me behind the wheel. What are these drivers feeling right now?
Right now, they're a little bit anxious. Once we get these, once this green flag comes out, they're going to be better. But you look at this racetrack, what a great view. You see all those dark spots. There's grip on those dark spots. Those are patches. And a lot of the drivers told us in the garage area this morning, you race from patch to patch. Really, on the bottom of 3 and 4, there's a good long strip, and that's where you can make the most time. Everywhere else, you're slipping and sliding.
It's been 27 years. NASCAR is back at North Wilkesboro. It's a gorgeous day. It's an awesome crowd. Sit back and enjoy 250 laps for the Craftsman Truck Series. Heim takes the outside lane and quickly jumps to the race lead.
Great move to get down in front of Carson Hocevar. Now he can dictate the pace.
That's what these guys on the outside are all going to be trying to do, get down. And that means squeezing. And if the guy on the inside doesn't give you the spot, then you'll be turned around.
Carson was telling Adam and I in the late model race the other night, he said you really couldn't make any ground up in the outside. You eventually just had to body slam somebody to get to the inside.
There you see Larson stuck up top. Look at all the ground he's losing.
He's going to be able to tuck in behind Christian Eckes in the 19 truck.
Eckes won last week at Darlington, second win of the year for him.
And then, you know, right now, Phil, as you see him running off the track off turn 2 there, I think we'll see more and more of that as Enfinger slides on the inside of Kobe Howard. These guys are not only racing each other right now, but they're trying to take care of those tires. They're trying to conserve what they've got and not burn them up early.
See Colby Howard, the 9, pulls down in front of Caden Honeycutt. Desperately get to the inside. That's the key. Now Christian Eckes, that 19 truck, is going to try to work his way underneath that 20 of Caden Honeycutt. Look how low they are. Left side tires down on the concrete for Christian Eckes.
We'll see more and more of that as they just squeeze down lower and lower. And the racing into turn 1 could get intense. You could see how close they are to that inside wall. Run about 6-8 laps. The guy in front of you might have to lay a bumper to him to get him up out of the way.
Let's say Honeycutt getting a little bit impatient there, I feel like, in the 20.
Well, he sees the gap in front of that 9 truck. Just like at Martinsville, when there's a gap in front of the truck, then you need to have that space.
56 Timmy Hill racing the 4 of Chase Purdy. In front of them, Zane Smith in the 38 on the move. Didn't qualify earlier today. Josh talked about it in his pre-race report. Reigning series champ trying to work his way to the front after starting in the rear.
Johnny Sauter tried to squeeze down on Timmy Hill. Wasn't able to do. You see the orange truck on the inside. Takes that spot.
A little bit of a throwback paint scheme for Timmy Hill. His dad, Jerry, used to run in the truck series back in the day.
You saw that aggressive exit to turn 2. I'm looking for that to even get trucks more down on that new pavement. Phil, you said it, racing from patch to patch. Let me just tell you at home, if you're watching the black parts of the track, that's good. The gray parts, not so good. So you're searching for that grip.
You have to remember, we didn't have any grip here 27 years ago when we last raced, and it didn't get any better. But the drivers wanted it this way for this all-star race weekend. They wanted the challenges and the character of this racetrack to show.
Battle for third. William Byron has it. Right behind him, the 98 is Ty Majeski. Won twice last year in the playoffs, including on the short track in Bristol, Tennessee.
We talk about experience here. The top 6 runners right now all raced Wednesday night in one of the 3 late model races we had.
How about the driver in 4th, Jamie?
Well, that driver in 4th is Ty Majeski right now, and his team's telling him on the radio, listen, we know you're being smart, but think about if we get a caution. If you say P4, that means you don't get lane choice. The choose rule is in effect. You make up one more spot, you've got yourself in a much better position. So look for him to try and get around William Byron here as soon as he can.
Yeah, that's like saying hurry up, but don't use your tires up.
Yeah, hurry up. don't use the throttle, don't use your tire ups, but go ahead and pass him. But that was a great point that Jamie made, because I've heard people talk about when they do a choose, giving up 3 or 4 rows to make sure they get to the bottom.
Well, we saw a nice launch there for Corey Heim at the original start. Used that outside lane and got the run and kept the lead. So we'll see how it goes. But yes, you've got to be on the bottom as you see Larson making up a move there against Christian Eckes.
He slid back to 12th. Now he gets back by Eckes to 11th. And I'm going to throw out something that's crazy. I wondered, was there a little bit of conservation early to go, or no? Did he just fade a little bit in the early going when he got trapped in the outside lane?
I just think he got hung on the outside.
Yep.
Couldn't get back down to the bottom. There's so much difference, especially in turns 3 and 4, where that new strip of pavement is on the inside compared to the old pavement on the outside.
I just felt like the question had to be asked. Anytime he's going in the wrong direction, I feel like it's got to be by design unless there's a major problem.
Well, you know, he got stuck up there, Adam, and he's smart enough not to force it. You know, he just did say probably, all right, let's get a couple by me. I don't want to mess up my tires here early. So it might have been a combination of two. Carson Hocevar heard on the pit reporters say that he was the fastest in the long run averages. And he's showing the speed he has, as is Ty Majeski. Ty Majeski's so good on these little racetracks. And I love that line he's running. He had his truck almost all the way down on the concrete.
Had a great run coming off turn 2, pulled up beside of William and beat him. They said if you get down to the inside of somebody and you're side by side going in turn 3, you have got the spot.
Talk about the Cup stars in the field, but the top 3 right now all running for the Truck Series Championship. Corey Heim started on the pole. He's led every lap. Hocevar is second. Majeski now third. This is what it's all about for the tailgaters at North Wilkesboro. Second short track race of the year for NASCAR's Craftsman Truck Series. We're live at North Wilkesboro, and the man that won at Martinsville last month has led them all so far today. Corey Heim, 23 circuits out front. As you look at that old leaderboard, still set up the way it was when we left here in the Cup race in 1996. And our first caution of the day, our leader Heim, just over 20 laps in, was already into some lap traffic, and the yellow is out for the 56 of Timmy Hill.
Like we said, it's pretty much all the grip is on the bottom, and if you have a guy in front of you that's slower, you really might run into him. Timmy tries to tuck into a hole.
And it just wasn't there. I know how bad he wanted to get down there, but Johnny wasn't going to let him down there. Connor Jones did a nice job in that 66 truck avoiding him, as well as a couple other trucks.
Timmy was on the move too. He had made a couple passes, was running 22nd, so looked like he was having a pretty good day, and now he's a lap down.
You know, Michael, we talked during the race analysis about tires. Again, 5 sets of tires sitting in the pits. I think this is a tick early on lap 25 right now of a 70 lap stage. I think if we were at 35 or 40, then I think guys would consider it. The drivers want them now because they're over a second slower than what they were at the start, but I think it's too early.
And for those watching at home, this is what this game's all about. You've got to play with the cards you're dealt. And they've been dealt with 5 sets of tires in their pits. How do they use them most efficiently and make sure they've got an extra set laying there late in this race in case the caution comes out?
Yeah, I was talking to some of the drivers down in the garage area, Adam and I, and they said, well, but you know, the guy that has the best tires at the end of the race is going to win. And you certainly don't want to have any new tires sitting in the pits when the race is over, because you're not going to win if that's the case.
This caution good for the 0-2 of Chris Wright. He had just gone a lap down. He gets the free pass here. So that means we'll have 34 trucks on the lead lap. Spencer Boyd had gone a lap down, and Michael, you mentioned Timmy Hill with the spin also loses a lap here.
That was a big break for Stuart Friesen. Stuart didn't have a very good qualifying effort, and he was the next truck that was getting ready to be lapped. So, man, I don't know, Phil. If I'm Stuart Friesen, I might play the wild card right here. Come in, get those tires. He's dead last anyway. We got to make something happen.
And if it goes green the rest of the way to the end of the stage, it'll work out for him because he'll pass a lot of trucks.
Pit road's still closed, so we'll wait and see what drivers do once it opens next time around. Coming up, the USFL kicks off at 4 Eastern on Fox as the Birmingham Stallions take on the Michigan Panthers. And tomorrow at noon Eastern, the New Orleans Breakers battle the Philadelphia Stars on FS1. Then it's the New Jersey Generals against the Houston Gamblers at 4 on Fox. Mid-season USFL, you can't beat it on the Fox family of networks.
I think all of our leaders stay out. You said it, Phil. Just a little bit too early to pit.
The pit road is open now. I know all the drivers would love to have tires, but they also realize the limitations on the number of sets. Is that somebody pulling over? Is that Majeski?
Majeski,
he's going to stay out, but
took a look.
Some guys running up front are going to come in, led by the 51 and William Byron.
These are the Cup drivers that aren't running for points, right? So playing a little bit of a different game, can afford to get out of balance. Christopher Bell among those making a stop, Jamie.
And for Christopher Bell, you know, we talked out on the grid, and he was saying that in practice session they were expecting to unload and just be way too loose, but he was way too tight. And during the stage, he's telling his team, I'm still way too tight. So they needed some adjustments was the reason for the stop. Adam.
Saw William Byron coming in. Jake Garcia making a stop. Colby Howard. Christian Eckes has won twice this year, including last week at Darlington, comes in for service.
So does Stuart Friesen, like we talked about. He didn't have anything to lose. There's Colby Howard.
Tyler Ankrum makes a stop.
I love the strategy for Stuart Friesen. He had to make something happen. I was a little surprised at some of those drivers up front. But again, if we go green the rest of the way to the end of this stage, all these drivers right now putting tires on will have a huge advantage, Josh.
Yeah, and you saw the 51 come in there, and they've been working on this truck all week long. I mean, talking to Brian Patty before the race after qualifying, they said they had to work, get this thing right. William Byron said it took a while for the fronts to come in. It started to settle in. They need to keep with those adjustments and get the truck exactly where they want it, guys.
Caution comes out just over 20 laps in at North Wilkesboro. Corey Heim, the race leader. Getting all set for the restart in the Tyson 250 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing here at North Wilkesboro.
The competitors are choosing their lane, inside, outside, whatever you think's best. And you know, you said if the caution doesn't fly again, but Adam, with these trucks in the back with those new tires, that's a recipe for a caution flag to fly.
Yeah, the speed disparity is going to be tremendous, and it's amazing the closure rate with these new tires versus the old tires. That's the thing you have to avoid. And the guys with new tires, they're the last ones that want a caution flag, so they really have to be on their toes.
Start of the race, Heim takes the outside lane, does the same here for our first restart that comes as we complete lap 31.
So important for Corey Heim to be able to clear Carson Hocevar, that truck on the inside.
I think Corey's taking that outside lane because of that darker pavement up there. There's some grip up high, and he's able to launch really well, and that propels him out to the lead. If you're in second or third on the outside, I don't think that works.
Watch how many spots Grant Enfinger, that yellow truck, will lose by being stuck on the outside. Now he gets back down to the inside. He tucks in behind Matt DiBenedetto in that 25 truck in fifth.
Look at that, 3 wide at North Wilkesboro. Will that work?
But when you have new tires, it'll probably work, Michael.
Look at Christopher Bell. Right up the bottom, squeezing in there.
I've watched a lot of tape from old races. 3 wide is not something that you typically expect when you come to North Wilkesboro.
See all these trucks with new tires just driving by these guys on old tires. That's Friesen, that red 52 on the inside. That's Rajah Karuth at 24. He stayed out. He's stuck in the middle now going backwards.
And Friesen was running last.
Inside only.
He was the last truck on the lead lap, and now look at these moves he's making. If you don't think those tires are important,
inside only.
You've never watched a race at North Wilkesboro.
Best running position of those drivers that made a pit stop, William Byron up to 13th. Look at this.
That's a great illustration of what new tires will do compared to old tires.
Oh, he's squeezed in there. Look at that. Nearly spin does Rajah Karuth in that 24 Wendell Scott truck.
I tell you, another thing we have to think of, these guys at the back of the pack now on old tires, it won't be long before the leaders get there to them, and those guys on new tires get up front and put them a lap down.
Zane Smith started in the rear. He did not make a pit stop there, but he's up inside the top 15. Reigning champ running 14th.
Josh Williams got squeezed there in some of that 3 wide action. You can see damage on the left front. The good thing about the guys out in the back that are on old tires, the leaders are on old tires too. So it's going to be hard for them to get there as quickly as some of these guys that are coming. Watch this gaggle off turn 4.
How about Garcia, that 35 truck on new tires, making it, was it 4 wide for a moment there for Garcia?
And there you saw Josh Williams get into Rajah, causing that issue.
Garcia, an 18-year-old, just graduated high school, but you get some fresh tires, that'll give you some quick confidence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. See Christopher Bell moving to the inside of Matt Crafton. Christopher Bell now all the way up in the 11th spot.
William Byron
coming along with him.
Byron up to 9th right now. After restarting 19th, so he's gained 10 positions on those new tires since the restart.
Yeah, the disparity in speed is unbelievable. It's obvious here.
There's Haley Deegan. She's top 10 right now with William Byron. Nice start by Haley here early.
Yeah, Haley's on those old tires. William has the new ones. Bell now pulling right up to the tailgate of William. Bell's in that 61 truck.
That's a great job to hold those trucks off for this long, even if it's another half lap. You know, we know how big of a difference that makes, and she's hanging right in there.
We saw the pace slow down about 1.25 seconds over the 24 laps prior to that caution flag.
Tied at the front, Corey Himes led the first 40 laps, but Carson Hocevar right in his hip pocket. Both drivers have a win already this year, locked into the playoffs.
And this is toe-to-toe on old tires. It's what makes North Wilkesboro so fun for these drivers, slipping and sliding and trying to grab those spots away.
One thing about the old tires, after they cool off a little bit during a caution flag, they will get some speed back. They're back running right now about what they were running at the end of that run. After a few laps, as we see Ross Chastain move by the 23 of Enfinger. That's a battle for the 6th spot.
Ross has got a fast truck moving up solidly here. on those older tires.
Yeah, I was going to say he's moving up, and he didn't pit. He's on those old tires, which is significant. Got to make a note of that.
Couple spots behind Ross is Caden Honeycutt, another strong run for the number 20 truck.
Great top 10 at Darlington for Caden. That's his second top 10 of the year. And battle for the lead.
42 inside of the 11. Carson Hocevar.
You're clear. All clear.
Second leader of the day.
You think that might have been a situation that Corey Heim said, well, he's running a little bit harder than I want to run right now. I need to save my tires a little bit. Maybe let him be the rabbit and set the pace.
Yeah, they pay stage points at the end of the stage. You want to make sure you're in good spot to win the stage, get a playoff point. Every point matters. It can get you to the next, it can get you in the playoffs, and that's what these drivers that are regulars are thinking right now. See Ross just lay over there. He knows those are 8 fresh tires compared to his 4 old ones.
And Byron in the 51 was the best of those trucks that came down pit road. Now Christopher Bell in that position has gotten around the 51, and they both find themselves knocking on the door of the top 5.
Remember now, that's the second truck, that's 61 for Shigeatori's team. Normally it's a 1-truck team, but doing a great job here. You see Christopher all the way down with almost 4 tires below the racetrack to get the position on the 41 of Chastain.
When we came up here to tire test, I saw that new pavement down there, and I could not wait to watch and see these guys drive down there off the racetrack and onto it. We saw a pass made there by doing so.
Byron gets by DiBenedetto. Christopher Bell goes by as well. They're 5th and 6th on track, and they're 6 seconds behind our race leader, Carson Hocevar, out front, and leading laps for the first time since he won a couple of months ago at Texas. $18 laps to go, stage 1, and the Tyson 250 for the Craftsman Truck Series. And those fresh tires on the move. Corey Heim had lost 2nd to Kyle Larson. He now falls back to 5th. Is Byron and Bell on those better tires go driving right by.
What did Michael say? 8 tires just passed Corey Heim?
And they're good tires compared to the competition. These guys are on a roll.
Even in traffic, they're running, while they're passing trucks, they're running faster laps than our leader.
Oh, sideways. That was Bell that had the back end hop out from underneath of him.
See that second blue and white truck with the 51 on it? That's William Byron. Bell right behind him.
Did you see Bell all the way off the road? This is fun.
Kyle Larson, Williams Cup teammate, and that 7 truck still on the older tires. I love that view with those drivers. They're using that concrete now like you were talking about.
Yeah, they're all over that apron.
Byron looks like an offensive lineman opening holes for Bell as they work their way through traffic, doesn't he?
The killer bees are going after the competition.
Now 2nd and 3rd, And they're 2 seconds behind race leader Carson Hocevar, who's in lap traffic on the older tires. And we've got 14 laps to go in the stage. This is going to be a fun finish. There's that 42.
I mean, Carson looks in his rearview mirror and says, well, I don't see anybody behind me. I really have a nice lead. And in about 4 or 5 laps, William Byron is going to be there, Jamie.
And if you look at the lap times, Carson Hocevar has really been quite impressive on these older tires. He's only about 0.3 of a second quicker or slower, than William Byron right behind him. And they were hoping, now that the caution flag is out for Hailie Deegan, they were hoping that he was going to be able to maintain that lead just a little bit longer with 13 laps to go in the stage. They're in this for the full season. William Byron, Christopher Bell, they're not. So Carson Hocevar, he wants those stage points. The message now has been relayed to him that when they get to you, you've just got to stay smart. Let's not make any bad decisions. Just remember, you're going to get a new set of tires eventually too, and you'll be able to come back through the field.
You get that caution for Hailie Deegan. She was running 20th. It's big for her teammate, Ben Rhodes, who was about to go a lap down. And now the question becomes, how do you handle pit or not pit? You're going to be 10 to go on the stage probably when pit road opens.
Yeah, I think without a doubt, if you don't need the stage points, they're not that important to you. Stop now and put tires on. And you will mow through the field of the guys that are going to stay out.
And if you've won a race, you don't need those stage points. And you just start looking at the bigger picture. And that's where Carson Hocevar is. Do they come to pit road? I think so.
We're almost going to run this race like a road course. They're going to back this race up from lap 250. You want to have 2 sets of tires laying after the second stage ends on lap 140. So you just got to manage your tires till you get to the end of the second stage.
Wow, that's really
obviously going to be a great view from our on-track reporter, Daniel Dye, as usual. Looks like maybe, is that Johnny Sauter? Maybe the white truck gets to the inside of Hailie and they make a little bit of contact. What a job that Jake Garcia did, as well as Daniel Dye.
And what a job Hailie did. That looked like that had rear clip tailgate right into that outside wall written all over it. And she was able to keep it out of the wall, but then she came down the track and nearly got clobbered.
Second caution of the day, second time this afternoon. Chris Wright has received the free pass, scored in the 28th position.
Carson to pit road like we suspected.
I love it.
They're heading your way, Jamie.
Yes, and as Carson Hocevar makes his way down pit lane, he was telling the team that he was just, tell me what to do. He said, I'll stay out and keep fighting, but they did make that ultimate call. Back behind him on pit lane, Ty Majeski, he had a little bit of an adjustment that he was looking for. He said it's just too tight in the center. He needs more turns, so they wanted to make that adjustment for him. Carson Hocevar still on pit lane, but he's going to get out there, and he's got a lot of fight left in him, Josh.
Well, 7 of Kyle Larson was saying that the truck was pretty good, but it started to get loose towards the end of that run. They're going to make an air pressure and a track bar adjustment. As far as Corey Himes, Scott Zipadelli was asking him, can he make it to the end of the stage? He said, I probably could, but we should probably come in and get those tires, guys.
Varying strategies. Race off pit road. One looked like by Corey Himes jumped out there first from that #1 pit stall. We'll sort through the running order and get a restart to end stage 1. Less than 10 laps to go at North Wilkesboro. Caution out for the second time today. Going to get a restart here. 7 laps to go. 7 laps to go in the stage when we return to the green flag. Problems for Christian Eckes. He had a speeding penalty. And this Carson Hocevar with an issue on pit road.
Yeah, trouble with it. Looks like the jack broke. He's lost a number of spots. I think the jack had actually pumped up on the way around the truck. That he had to stop and let it down. But it's going to be fun to watch these guys with new tires at them.
Front row, William Byron, Stuart Friesen. They're on the older tires, newer tires back there from 9th on back.
Friesen took the bottom and looked like he wanted to take the lead. Colby Howard up on the top.
How about Corey Heim making it 3 wide, already up to 4th on the exit of 2, and he will be 3rd by the time we get off of turn 4.
We had 4 wide. I promise you, I saw it. You said it was going to be wild, and it is. Look at that mess.
New tires versus old tires, short stint to the end of stage 1.
If they make it to the end without a caution, I'll be surprised with all the action we're seeing on this track.
And there's the yellow flag. You said it, Michael. Timmy Hill, second time today.
Well, good. I'm not surprised. Felt like that was going to happen. Man.
There's some damage to the left front of that truck as well.
Look at Corey Heim, had gone on the pylon, had gone from 9th to 3rd on the restart on those newer tires. And I say 9th to 3rd, I'm not sure exactly where he was after the choose, but prior to the choose, he was scored in the 9th position and works his way to 3rd.
We may run enough caution laps to end this stage, so that's going to be great news for William Byron, Colby Howard, those guys on old tires, and Stuart Friesen, who's parlayed a really poor qualifying effort and right now running 4th.
Bam. Haley, unfortunately, was the wrong place at the wrong time and got hit there. Here comes our in-race reporter. Did a nice job just blowing up, getting down off the racetrack.
Do we pay him? I mean, if we don't, we should, I think.
I said yesterday during practice he should invoice for per diem, and no one would challenge paying the bill. Free pass here goes to Brett Holmes. You talk about the give and take of this race. He spent the first 20 laps or so inside the top 10 after a great qualifying effort earlier today. Fell back, lost the lead lap, but here returns to the lead lap after getting the free pass.
Michael, you said 4 wide. Let's see if we can find it.
It's got to be there. I know I saw it. This is crazy racing. There we go. And William decided, or is that Larson?
That's Larson, yep.
Larson decided, I better give him a break here. And then dives in the corner and grabs that spot away.
He felt like he was going to get squeezed into the fence off of turn 2. And then once he got a little space, then he drove on.
That is so fun for a driver. Right there, it's like, probably made a wise decision, didn't he?
Totally wise. He makes a lot of wise decisions, doesn't he?
He's seen messes like that before, whether it's on a dirt track or a short track.
This is his 199th track that he's competed on, Kyle Larson. How crazy is that?
That's amazing. All over the country and the world.
All sizes and shapes.
Jake Garcia coming to pit road to get his tires. Timmy Hill with a little damage control on the front of that truck.
Here's a little history lesson on North Wilkesboro. Opened up 1947 as a dirt track. NASCAR started coming here 1949. It was the season finale that year for the Cup cars. Last Cup race here, 1996, won by Jeff Gordon. So many big moments in between. And when we found out last fall that NASCAR was coming back, Craftsman Truck Series All-Star Weekend, we just couldn't believe that it was happening. And here we are. And you talk about a community embracing a racetrack. This is spectacular.
I mean, there are signs in every yard. Every business is welcome back. We got you back. Just a great feeling here. What a great vibe.
It is that. Came up here a couple of months ago for a tire test and said, man, this place is right. And this is going to be right, too. We're going back racing, Phil, with 1 to go.
We didn't even like to do tire tests back in the day, and you came to watch a tire test.
This is going to be chaotic, I'd say.
One lap to go here in this stage. Can Corey Heim parlay those new tires into a stage win?
I'm going to say yes.
I think he can, too.
I like his chances because he took the front row with William Byron.
Goodness.
So
Goodness.
this is really good for the 11 on those newer tires. Started on pole, led the first 43 laps, and trying to get the top spot again. 1 lap to go, stage 1, North Wilkesboro for the Craftsman Truck Series.
Corey needs to clear William by the time they get to turn 3, because William's going to have that grip down on the bottom. Oh, Corey does it.
Corey Hine plays the strategy. After starting on the pole, he wins the stage.
And they made it.
Take a deep breath, right?
I was. I needed a breath. I was holding mine for them to be able to run that 1 lap without a wreck.
For Corey Hine, it's the 4th career stage win for him. 3rd time he's done it in 2023. We're back to North Wilkesboro after you watch this on Fox. Tomorrow on FS1, with $1 million on the line, NASCAR's best take on the historic track at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. It all begins 5 Eastern time with the All-Star Open, then engines fire at 8. Don't miss all the action, FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Stage 1 complete for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, racing the Tyson 250.
Pit road is open, Adam.
We're going to find out what everyone's plan is here.
There's a variety again.
There they are. Put the 11 out front.
51 making his pit stop. William Byron pitted on laps 28. Now he's going to come in and get another fresh tires. Josh, what are they saying down in the 51 pit?
Or they're saying the adjustments they made last time, making an air pressure adjustment, helped. They still need more to get there. So William Byron said double the adjustment with the air pressure for last time in the 51. As far as the 9 of Colby Howard, their main concern is whether or not they have a tire rub. They said check the fender to see if that's happening. If there's no issue, get those 4 tires and fuel and make a track bar and air pressure adjustment.
Phil, you got your pencil sharpened. You know who's got tires, who's getting tires, who's doing what. I mean, it's the strategy, as we said from the top of the show, is dictated by when the caution flag flies and when these stages in. And these crew chiefs are using every brain cell they've got to try to figure out how to do this properly.
Yeah, and I think we also got to realize that a lot of those guys have already put their second set of tires on. If this goes green a long way, they could be in trouble.
The start to stage 2 when we come back. Getting ready for stage 2, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing on a Saturday afternoon in North Wilkesboro. Such a historic weekend when you think about returning to this place. And we have a special guest with us in the booth. Greg Biffle won the Truck Series title in 2000, named one of the top 75 drivers in NASCAR. It's great to have you here. And I'll just start out by saying congratulations on being named one of the top 75. What an honor.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was. It was a huge honor, big surprise, and very excited to make that list.
I love the fact that you're here with us. You've raced these trucks. You won these truck races. Can you believe we're back at North Wilkesboro? Such a historic day.
This is a great day, and I'll tell you what, I'm sitting here watching this race, and I want to be out there on that racetrack so bad. These guys are putting on such a great show. What I love about this is this tire strategy that's going on. I'm having a great time watching and trying to analyze this.
You know, we were talking earlier at the top of the show, this racetrack means so much to my family, especially Benny, who grew up here in North Wilkesboro, came to the races as a young man, and I know you and Benny had a very special relationship.
Yeah, we did. I mean, that's the reason why I'm standing here is Benny Parsons. You know, got my opportunity with Jack Roush through Benny, and, you know, I posted a photo last night that a friend of mine sent me, and just miss him, and I was sitting in the back there getting ready to come on, and a big photo of him on the wall. Just coming here just reminds me of that, and seeing the grandstand, Benny Parsons grandstand over here.
I go back to the start of your career. You were the Truck Series Rookie of the Year, 1998. We mentioned the fact that you won the championship in 2000. When you walk through this garage today, what stands out to you? Because for all us, we're like, my gosh, these guys are so young. What about for you?
I mean, the same thing. You know, it feels like I'm coming here to race, you know. And one thing I love about the sport, or what I loved back then, is the first time we went to a new racetrack, meaning no one had any advantage. No one had any experience there. All these guys today are experiencing that. They haven't raced here before. So I love that level playing field. Nobody has any experience, and we're seeing it unfold.
Greg, 22 drivers in the field weren't born the last time we raced at North Wilkesboro.
And then you got the young Corey Heim. He sat on the pole and he's leading this race. And you got NASCAR Cup winner Christopher Bell right behind him. There's just such a great mix of experience and youth.
It is, and to see these guys, Hocevar, I mean, you know, had a bad pit stop, right back up there again. These guys are doing such a great job.
Haley Deegan got the free pass with that caution that ended stage 2. Corey Heim wins that ended stage 1, I should say. Corey Heim wins that opening stage, takes the inside lane as we begin this second stint of the race.
We're going to see something pretty normal in the first 20 positions, Adam. They're all on the same tires, so there won't be anything going crazy up there. But back in the back, a couple of really fast trucks that have those new tires are going to be charging through the field.
William Byron, the best of that group, pitted at lap 75, restarted just outside the top 15 in that 51.
Remember, that's the third set of tires that William Byron has used this race. He really has to run the end of this stage out, I think, on this set of tires. If we get a caution with 30 or 40 laps left in this stage, he could be in serious trouble with speed.
How about a dive bomb there? Surprise, surprise, Ross Chastain out of line into 41, going after the 16 of Tyler Ankrum.
It's amazing to see these guys 3 wide on this racetrack, and that's what these new tires are doing. You know, you feel like Superman when you drive down in the corner, turn the wheel, and the thing sticks.
Look at that! Look at that 3 wide. All 3 trucks touching each other.
Chris Hacker in that 30 truck down on the bottom, squeezing in there. Ben Rhodes has been struggling today, and that's Connor Jones. Look at that, still 3 wide.
Yeah.
That's Chris right in the 0-2. He gets a little contact from Connor Jones, saves it.
Daniel Dye right behind them.
And the battle for the lead. Carson Hocevar trying to take it away from Corey Heim again.
Yeah, there won't be a big disparity on the tires from the guys that pitted on lap 60 like our leaders and the ones that came in just now on lap 75, because a number of those laps were caution laps between 60 and 75.
What about number 38 we see right here? Started last. And we haven't even talked much about him being 3 and 4 wide. He's just been sort of under the radar, charging his way through the field, and now runs up inside the top 5.
Yeah, I've been watching him. He's quietly working his way up and just minding his P's and Q's. He's been in some of those 3 wide battles, but here he finds himself up there in 4th now.
And he has the same tires that the 7 of Kyle Larson has too. So it's not like he all of a sudden he's up there only because he pitted a long time before these guys. He's equal with them right now.
Really good job for that group to manage their day. Didn't make a qualifying run, had problems in the inspection line. Starts at the rear. They played the strategy quite nicely, have a fast truck, and in position for another solid day. Zane Smith, the guy that won the championship a season ago. Lost a spot here. Kyle Larson drives by. How about that 38, Josh?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Zane Smith started the day with that penalty after they had to start in the back because they failed pre-race inspection. But Chris Lawson told me going into the day they felt strong about that truck. Despite what happened all weekend long, they knew they had a truck good enough to win this race, so they're going to play their strategy, get that track position back. Now you see them running in the top 5 and a strong truck, the defending champ.
He's able to take that thing really low, Josh. Maybe lower than some of the other trucks, but right now Matt DiBenedetto in that 25 truck has closed in on Zane. There's when I talked about Ben Rhodes being a bit on the struggle bus. He's made his way in the top 10, but he's got the trucks behind him lined up. And when that happens, you can expect the old bumper coming to your tailgate.
Yeah, when you're looking out the windshield and you see a quarter of a straightaway or half a straightaway and they're packed up behind you, you better be hustling or getting out of the way because things are getting ready to get busy.
When you see that out the windshield, you don't have to look in the rearview mirror to know they're going to be lined up behind you, right, Phil?
Exactly.
Bubba Wallace beating on that back bumper into 1. Bubba top 10 driving that 1 truck last week at Darlington. Grant Enfinger says, I'll take advantage. He picks up a spot driving around Bubba.
Now we'll see if Grant has as much patience as Bubba had behind Ben Rhodes.
First time we've seen Nick Sanchez today. He's running in the 13th position in that 2 truck. Been fast all year long, making his way up toward the top 10. Christian Eckes right behind him was a lap down earlier. And now he's battling inside the top 15. So many great stories here in this race today.
And I think one thing you're going to see as this race progresses, this racetrack taking rubber. It's getting slicker. So guys that ran up, fast in the beginning of this race, it may be a different group of guys as we see the 2nd and 3rd stage.
Sun's out too now, so the racetrack's heating up even more. It's been overcast all morning.
Yeah, and this place doesn't like that heat. It really gets challenging when it gets hot. We've been pretty mild all weekend.
And we'll see whose truck adapts to that as this temperature gets going.
Kyle Larson up to 3rd, getting by Christopher Bell. Saw back behind them William Byron a moment ago making his way through the field up to 14th in that 51.
Greg, do you get to watch a lot of truck races?
I do.
Yeah. Who do you have your eye on? Who do you think is really showing some potential?
I've seen Hocevar get better and better and better, and to see what he's able to do, and Corey Heim, I'm not picking the guys at the front for a reason, but these guys have improved their skills and have now gotten in here and making less mistakes, right? You learn from your mistakes, and when you make those, it's costly. We've seen Hocevar make mistakes. It's cost him, and now he's up here running 2nd on a track he's never seen before.
How many times do you think these two have had a little contact at some kind of racetrack and then pass one another. I mean, I feel like they're connected at the hip throughout their entire career, Larson and Bell.
I think Larson just straightened Bell out. I think Bell was sideways.
Yeah, it looked like he was really just trying to be efficient and cut down behind him. I think that's what I'm going to go with, but I'm not sure.
Kyle Larson 2/10 faster than our leader last time by. You can see the move he makes right here. He's going to grab second as he dives down into turn 3. That's a fast truck right now.
Wow. Really fast.
Heim is leading. He's led the most laps today. It'll be 70 out front, but he's got company coming. Kyle Larson is fast. We're underway. Stage 2. It's the trucks at North Wilkesboro on Fox. You saw it while we were away, side by side. Kyle Larson has taken over the race lead, getting by Corey Heim. Carson Hocevar's taken over the second position. So in that exchange, the driver that has led the most laps today, our pole sitter, our stage 1 winner, Corey Heim, goes from the lead to third.
There's something happening here with this 88, and it was what I talked about earlier. How low can you go? Look, he's all the way down on the concrete here, but even more fun to watch. Makes me want to be out there like you, Biff. Watch what Matt Crafton does off turn 2. This is happening, and this will continue to happen even more. He's found some speed down there. All 4 tires to the bottom. Here we go.
Absolutely, and I love that. I love getting the left front down there. It de-wedges the truck, gets it to rotate around, and you're just searching for grip.
What about that 88, Jamie?
I'm not sure that there was a driver in the field this full time that was more excited about coming here than Matt Crafton was. He said this place is awesome. He told me earlier today that the thing he was looking most forward to is being able to come to a place where the truck doesn't dictate who it is that wins. It all comes down to what the driver's able to do behind the wheel and the adjustment that the team's able to make, and they've certainly been able to make some. He was unhappy earlier on. He said he was getting bound up in the corners, couldn't get the drive off, but now that he's on old tires, just like the rest of the field, he's able to do something with it.
Well, he's about 3/10 faster than the leader because of that right there, Jamie. He's using the flat of the track. He said how much he loved this track because it's worn out. Well, why is he driving down there on that fresh pavement? If that's the case, that doesn't make any sense, but he is making it work.
don't forget, all these spotters are watching that as well. And every one of these spotters are going to tell their drivers, hey, Matt Crafton is making some hay by going all the way down below. There's the spotters right there, all the way down below the racetrack on the exit of 2.
My question is, that's brand new pavement down there, it looks like. Is that putting wear? Is he wearing these tires out, being down on that new pavement, and is that going to, hurt him later?
And it could be a situation where it isn't so much, Greg, because he's not spinning his tires. He's not sliding his tires. He's just getting that grip. I just can't believe everybody's not doing it.
Wow.
I want to do it.
They're going to, as soon as they go by, usually, okay, I see what he's doing.
I'll be shocked if Ben Rhodes doesn't do that exact line when he follows Matt Crafton and sees what a bite he gets off of turn 2.
Absolutely.
Everybody's doing it over at the other end of the racetrack, but he's the only one that I've seen really do it over here in turn 2.
Crafton by his teammate, now 13th, up in front of them for 10th. Grant Enfinger has it in the 23. William Byron on those fresher tires in the 11th position. Right behind him, Bubba Wallace. Going around the lap truck, the 04 Johnny Sauter won the championship 2016.
Yeah, William tires have about 15 less laps on them than everybody in front of him. But remember, half of those laps were under caution.
So really only 7 or 8 laps difference under green. Not going to make that big of a difference, especially once they get some temperature in them. About an equal tire.
We think the track temperature right now is 30 degrees hotter than when they qualified earlier today.
Wow. And it was overcast yesterday too, so this is all new to these guys. And it makes a difference.
Over halfway home in stage 2, 27 laps to go in the 70-lap stage. Larson continues to work lap traffic. Going around the 24 of Raja Karuth, putting him a lap down. Karuth in the 26th position right now. So 25 trucks on the lead lap. And the next truck Larson will see Haley Deegan, who picked up the free pass in our last caution. Oh, my. That was some off-road right there, wasn't it?
That's the line that Matt Crafton's been running.
I don't know. I saw something fly I hadn't seen before.
Looks a little different from the driver's eye camera from Raja Karuth.
Oh, Grant's trying to squeeze in there.
98, Ty Majeski started row 2. Enfinger wants that spot in the 23.
It's a battle for the 9th spot. Enfinger's got it. Majeski hung up on the high side. Is going to lose another spot or 2 by being hung up on the outside.
Grant makes that move around Connor Jones. Here comes Willie B.
Sometimes you get pushed out by that one truck. You just can't turn it right back to the bottom, and those next guys are coming, and you get freight trained out.
Yeah, that's what some of the guys were saying. No matter how bad you want to get back down to the inside, even if there's a hole, you turn the steering wheel and the truck doesn't react because the tires are so slick.
That's right.
Greg, one of the 75 greatest drivers in NASCAR history, truck champion. How are you at managing your tires? Were you a hammer down guy, or could you hang on to those tires and take care of them?
Well, I typically did better on the tracks that had the higher grip. So if that gives you an indication.
Because you were a Charger.
I was a Charger, hammer down. I had the front tire run off that thing in about 25 laps.
So, on the other side of that, when you were racing, who frustrated you because they always took care of their stuff and would drive by you late in the run?
Man, I'll tell you what, there's so many of these guys that are so good at that. Tony Stewart was really good at it. Saving their tires, and you get to the end of those runs and you're thinking, my gosh, where did they put tires on? Because they're way faster than I am.
Battle for third heating up. Zane's gotten to the back bumper of Corey Heim as Corey took the Matt Crafton line, and we saw Kyle Larson adopting that line too.
I think Kyle clipped the grass, didn't he?
He did, and look at that, 4 tires down on the concrete. Why not?
It did not take long for the rumor to get around. Somebody's making some speed down there on that new pavement, and now we were seeing all these trucks down there.
How many times have you heard that, Phil, on the radio? He's running up high. What? How's he doing that?
Word travels quickly on the spotter stand, right? Kyle Larson leading at North Wilkesboro. Hocevar, Zane Smith, Heim, Bell, the top 5. Inside of 15 laps to go, stage 2 for the Craftsman Truck Series racing at North Wilkesboro. Let's take a look now at today's pit windows, sponsored by Window World.
Yeah, we love that. You see everybody in the top 10 with the exception of William Byron, last pitted on lap number 60, just prior to the end of the first stage. William pitted for the second time this race on lap 75. I think he's probably taking care of his tires. But remember that 15-lap disparity was only 7 or 8 laps of those were green flag laps, so not a huge difference. But I think once we get to the end of this stage, most of these guys, we see a great battle for second. Zane Smith's going to try to get by Hocevar, and he does. I think everyone will be on mostly equal footing when we get to the end of the stage in 11 more laps.
Zane Smith from the back after not making a qualifying run because of inspection problems all the way up to second with 10 to go in stage 2. He has put on a show this afternoon.
Well, you knew he was going to be coming. He's just too good not to, and he snuck up on us early in the race by making some subtle moves toward the front. Now he's got the hammer down, looking good.
We saw his spotter, Josh Williams, before the race. He was starting dead last. Josh said, I promise you, we're going to finish better than we started. Yeah. He said it very sarcastically. I think we're seeing exactly how good that truck is.
And again, like I talked about Hocevar gaining experience, you see him, he knows that 38's faster than him. He moved up out of the way, let him go, and said, I'm going to take care of my tires and pick my battle later in this race.
Yeah, try to make our truck better, and maybe we can race you at the end.
That's right.
Paid his tuition, right? He wrote the check. He said, I'm going to go to school here. Get you back later on. Matt DiBenedetto.
And Bubba Wallace, he's been the fastest truck on the track lately, and he's staying up on the road. As you see, Matty D got into Corey Heim, and it worked out perfect for Bubba.
They were fighting for the apron of the racetrack down there.
Bubba said, I'm going to use the racetrack.
Look at him go, man. I'm telling you, the last 10 laps, fastest truck on the track. He's all the way up to 4th spot.
Yeah, Matt DiBenedetto was having a great run as well. Maybe the best run of the year. Trouble.
Get through there.
That's the 5 of Dean Thompson. Brings out our 5th caution of the day. And it happens with only 6 laps to go in stage 2. He was 23rd, 1 lap down when he went for a ride.
Now you're going to see drivers that are on differing agendas. Someone's going to want this playoff point. They're going to stay out and try to get it. Other drivers know that it's time to pit. As you see Raja trying to get, he does get under Dean, and then bam, Josh Williams just turned him.
Yeah, the other Josh Williams.
Yeah, Dean.
Not the one you were talking about.
Not the one I was talking about on the spotter stand.
Yeah, Dean was going to be fine until the contact from the 22 of Josh Williams. But now, even though the stage is going to end in about 6 laps, I want to come in now. I don't want to get those stage points if we pit now and get back going, because I don't want to give up that track position for this final stage.
We're going to go on board Chris Hacker, the Morgan & Morgan camera. As you see, the action was behind him. That's where you like the action to be.
Yeah, behind you. Yeah. Did you hear that though? When they were down, when he was down there on the apron, you heard some gravel and stuff. So again, that's brand new pavement. That's more susceptible to maybe coming up.
Well, we also saw Larson down in the gravel, down in the dirt, blowing things up there. So that could have been that. This is going to be interesting to me. What if I'm Matt DiBenedetto? I'm not in a good spot in points. You know, I got to get some points. I might want these stage points. Does he come to pit road, or does anybody stay out?
Larson gives up the top spot. Here he comes, and he's got a few coming with him. In fact, a whole bunch of trucks deciding to make a pit stop here. 5 to go in the stage. It opens up, and here they are.
Guys, I think we had to stop.
Just like Phil said, you had to stop, and that's what everybody did. And that's Matt DiBenedetto, Jamie.
And one of the problems that Matt had during that run was he said that he was just way too loose in and off. So they need to tighten him up just a little bit, but he feels like this team is in a completely different place they were earlier this season. They unroll right now with some speed. They're able to make these adjustments. What they need to do is quit making the mistakes. Up pit lane a little bit, Carson Hocevar made that pit stop from that number 3 position. And on that really long run, that 54-lap green run, he said, we held on really a lot better than they thought they were going to, Josh.
We saw the 38 of Zane Smith drive from the back up to the 2nd position. He said that truck is a lot better than where they started. They fixed a lot of the tightness in that 38 as far as the 7 of Kyle Larson. He said they're getting better. The short run is okay, but really, really good long run. So he's really hesitant to make any changes with that truck.
Top 3 off pit road. Able to hold serve. Larson, Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar. DiBenedetto +1, Corey Heim +1, Chastain +2. And you can see how tight things are coming off the pit lane at North Wilkesboro.
There's a whole bunch of trucks that stayed on the racetrack that were one lap down there. They're really hoping that we restart this race before the end of the stage, because they will take the wave around right now. And if the stage ends under green, then they will get that lap back.
That's just beautiful to me right there. Seeing the King at North Wilkesboro.
He only won here 15 times.
Wow. Look at this crowd. Everybody's just having such a great weekend. There was a concert last night. Midland.
Did you sing?
I sang with
There
Midland.
was a rumor.
Oh, my goodness.
And Chase Rice was playing. Duggar's playing tomorrow. Dirk Bentley. I mean, it looks as much like a festival as it does a race with everything that's going on here.
There they go.
Yeah, this is a huge break for these lap down guys. I mean, to get a caution 6 laps before the end of the stage, they could stay out, get their lap back, and then pit three laps later.
Greg, we only had 18 trucks on the lead lap. Now we're going to have about 30 trucks on the lead lap, maybe more than 30.
Colby Howard got the free pass. He was 18th, so we're only going to have 18 trucks on the lead lap until all these take the wave around. We got baseball for you coming up tonight. Check local listings for the game in your area to get the Dodgers, Cardinals, or the Mariners and the Braves. It's on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Coverage starts 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Baseball. Love the baseball.
Sorry we don't have the Tigers for you tonight.
I know it. What a great crowd. This is awesome.
I was walking around earlier, and these grandstands and these ways down here where all the grandstands are, I mean, just packed out. Love to see that.
This is a great celebration of our 75th, isn't it? We got the Biff up here with us. Racing at North Wilkesboro.
Shootout to end stage 2.
How about that great shot of the turn 3 grandstands? These are temporary grandstands. They weren't even here before, and it's just about full.
Man, it's amazing to see. It's great to see.
And they're on their feet for this restart. This race has been very entertaining. All our top competitors now are on the same tires, so at least we won't see anything too crazy, I don't think.
We're going to see a caution in another lap, though.
Front row, Larson, Carson Hocevar. Here we go. Final lap, stage 2, North Wilkesboro.
Toe-to-toe into 3.
Hocevar hanging tough in that outside lane. Stage 1 to Corey Heim. Stage 2 going to go to Kyle Larson. And they were side by side. I think it was a photo finish for second. Hocevar got Zane Smith, it looks like. Heim was 4th. He got big stage points today. Byron, DeBenedetto, Enfinger, Chastain, Wallace, and Ankrum, your top 10 in our second stage. First time Larson has won a stage in the Craftsman Truck Series. Greg, thanks for coming by, having some fun with us here at North Wilkesboro. Again, congratulations on the top 75.
Thank you. It's been exciting to watch this up here with you guys. To see all the things happening and be up here with you, it's been good.
Appreciate you
great
joining.
having you. Absolutely.
Enjoy the weekend. Special thanks to Greg, and we look forward to the final stage coming up live from North Wilkesboro. What a finish to stage 2. More to come from Wilkes County, North Carolina. Fox NASCAR live at North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's the Tyson 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. Jamie Howe on pit road with Josh Sims. We check in on our stage points today. Corey Heim wins the opening stage. Top 5 in stage 2. Good points day for him. Same for Carson Hocevar. What about Zane Smith? You start in the back, you get 12 stage points.
And you didn't have to sacrifice anything to do it, too. You're on equal footing with these guys. But we talk about how many trucks on the lead lap. We had 18 AA with a wave rounds and the caution coming back out at the end of the stage. 30 trucks on the lead lap of the 36 that started the race.
But you have to mention that because that is of huge influence on the way these teams will handle strategy in this final stage. Should we get a bunch of cautions, it's not automatic that you come down pit road. You got to think before you pit, knowing how many are on the lead lap.
We know everybody has at least 2 sets of tires sitting on pit road right now, new sets of tires. And there actually are some trucks that have 3 sets of tires, but I'm not sure if there's enough time to use all those tires because they got a new set of tires on right now.
And the reason why it's a big deal with all those trucks on the lead lap, because you got to navigate around them. If you come to pit road, that's going to give up way more track position than it would have.
As anticipated, a number of trucks will make their stop here under caution at the end of the stage, Jamie.
And Caden Honeycutt, the first to do that. He was frustrated after their last pit stop because they waited so long to do it. He was running as high as 5th, and they got themselves out of sequence. But what he did learn from it is they have a really strong truck, and this team is working well together. Rajah Karuth and that number 24 truck also making the call to pit lane. He's coming off of his best finish in 6th last week at Darlington. He was on the radio encouraging his team, saying, guys, it's fine that we're so far back. We got to keep digging. Josh.
For the 13 of Haley Deegan, they felt really strong coming into this race, qualified well, but they got some work to do in a slow pit stop for the 13 as far as the 35 of Jake Garcia, the recent high school graduate. He was complaining about having no rear grip on entry and exit and needed more drive off throughout this race, guys.
I'm anxious to see which one of these drivers makes a splash in the final stage and makes the most of their strategy call. We've got that final stage for you coming up, just over 100 laps to go.
The race is on at North Wilkesboro.
Southern nights. Have you ever felt a southern night? Free as a breeze, not to mention
1996. That's the last time NASCAR raced at North Wilkesboro. So good to be back. You can't beat the buzz in the air. And this community has come out showing their love for this awesome little short track in Wilkes County, North Carolina. And you know who else has fallen in love with this place? Kyle Larson, because he is out front in this event for the Craftsman Truck Series.
I'm not sure there's too many of the 199 racetracks that Kyle Larson's been that he didn't love.
Took the bottom on this restart. See if he can get the jump here on Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar.
Hocevar was second, but he gives up the front row for the inside lane. And you mentioned it, Zane Smith out there. Right behind him, the 51 of William Byron. And the 11 is Corey Heim, who won the opening stage. Been so good today after starting on the pole. Larson jumps out front.
Want to be on the inside. William Byron tried to force the issue on Grant Enfinger. Grant said, no, sir, it's not going to happen. See if William can get down to the bottom. He does get in front of Matt DiBenedetto. Huge move right there.
I talked about Bubba Wallace's speed. Now he's up front on the same tires. See if he can make anything happen. He's all over the back of Bell. Matt Crafton diving low on Ankrum into turn 3.
These guys battling just at the top side of the top 10.
Look at that. That's a beautiful sight.
Go on that bottom.
I guess it depends on what seat you're sitting in. For us, it's great. 3 wide.
There's a pretty good transition off of turn 2. You heard Raja when he went off the racetrack and then back on the racetrack. Let's see if he does it again down here on this end of the racetrack. Watch him turn hard left here.
Kept it up on the road and was able to grab that spot from Garcia.
Good him.
Raja coming off a career best. Last weekend at Darlington, finished 6th at the track Too Tough to Tame.
And was very fast. It looked like the fastest truck late in the race, but cautions kind of kept him from getting where he was going.
Chris Wright, the 02 truck being hung to the outside of 3 wide. Connor Jones, the 66. Right next to him. Josh Williams is going to go around and just clip the barrels at the end of pit road.
7th caution of the day for the 22 of Josh Williams.
Been an eventful day for Josh. Got that thing fired up though, and will drive away.
That could have made a mess if he'd have hit those barrels at the entrance to pit road.
That was a chain reaction, wasn't it?
Your body language changed when he went sideways near the barrels.
I was trying to keep him out of the barrel.
I know you were.
There's contact right there. You see Josh back there in the 22. He's going to try to make the move to the inside of Connor Jones. Spencer Board going by right there.
And then down on the very bottom.
Is that Tanner Gray going to make it 4 wide for a second? And Tanner Gray had Tanner Gray not have been there, I think Josh would have maintained control, but just clipped that barrel. Wow, that was close.
A little plastic flying, but not much. Could have been a whole lot worse. This caution helps out Daniel Dye, 29th in the running order. The rookie from Florida gets the free pass back on the lead lap.
It was going to be a mess of sand or water, whatever's in those barrels. And I'm sure Josh was looking out the windshield saying, oh, please let me just miss these barrels.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Should he be parked?
He certainly took a swipe at Tanner Gray.
I would say that's an inside joke, but I'm sure everyone watching at home knows exactly what you're talking about from earlier this year in the Xfinity Series race at Atlanta.
Well, NASCAR doesn't take kindly to paybacks period. But
especially under caution. Right?
Yeah, that was maybe just a warning. Don't do that again. This race is going to be a whole lot of what we just saw there with guys trying to get down in line. Tires are fairly equal, not a lot of advantage for anyone. What's this move all about, Phil? You feel good about it?
I think Ty probably had an extra set of tires. Remember, we talked about some guys having 3 sets of tires laying in the pits. Not a lot of laps on the tires for the guys on the racetrack, so not a huge advantage, I don't think.
16th, got to make something happen. ready for the restart at North Wilkesboro. And the fans rise together. Kyle Larson in command of the race. Hocevar getting aggressive. That's Enfinger up there in the 23.
Hocevar just wants to make sure that he clears Enfinger. He has the position on the inside.
He's going to get that spot down here in 3 and 4, I think. Enfinger's hanging tough, but there just isn't any grip. Look at him slide up. Zane Smith trying to take advantage of that hole that was open when Grant couldn't stick to the bottom. How far back will he go? When can he get in line?
Corey Heim back up there to third. He had slid after leading a bunch of laps in the first 2 stages.
Yeah, Grant gets in front of Christopher Bell. Big break for Grant Enfinger. Now Williams stuck to the outside. Has Matt DiBenedetto the 25 to the inside. He's going to have a little bit of a gap in front of Bubba, and he's going to take it.
Ooh.
What a nice crossover by William Byron to grab that spot back from Matt DiBenedetto.
I don't think we've heard the last of William Byron. He's going to be hard to beat.
And as you watch that truck, let's not forget Kyle Busch Motorsports going for their 100th win all time.
Matt DiBenedetto dives down to protect that spot so that Bubba couldn't get inside. And Bubba slips up, and Tyler Ankrum's going to look low.
Good day for Ankrum. We were talking about him during the commercial break. Scored in the 10th position.
Matt Crafton with his unique approach to this racetrack, closing in on the top 10. There's that bright yellow truck for Matt.
And doing what he does. Hang around, hang around, hang around, be there at the end.
I like him taking care of tires too. If this thing goes a green a ways, he'll just pick them off because of his driving style. I'm not going to say this anymore, but that just looks fun to me. I really want to do that. I'm just going to tell y'all.
But that transition is abrupt, though, isn't it?
Looks awesome. Matt sizing up. Ross, does he dive in on one?
Well, he thought about it, didn't he?
Man, that was close.
Looks like Ross is going to give him a little room, possibly. Matt's going to get up beside him. Going to have position when he gets down to turn 3. And I think it's a situation where
good.
Ross knows if he battles him through 3 and 4, he's going to lose more than one spot.
Right. Stewart is going to fill that inside gap.
Nice recovery by Stuart Friesen, too, after having really a poor qualifying effort way back.
Yeah, and a poor start to the race. Almost lapped down. Been able to soldier on.
Meanwhile, at the front, Kyle Larson, 1 second lead over Carson Hocevar.
We talked at the top of the show about who the guys to watch were. This was one of them, Kyle Larson. Hocevar in second was another. Corey Heim, our pole sitter, another one. They're running 1, 2, 3 right now.
They were all on my list of favorites.
You picked all of them, didn't you?
It was a lengthy list.
Those 3 and 7 or 8 others, right?
Well, I mean, you got to cover your bases. I don't think anybody, I mean, we would have all made Kyle Larson probably the favorite. That's the guy.
How do you not, right?
Yeah, with all he's accomplished. Corey Heim's showing a lot of speed too, though. Be interesting if this thing goes 50, 70 laps without a caution, just to see who falls off to where, and then have a late caution and throw some tires at them and see what happens.
And then we'll be back to 3 or 4 wide.
There's Stewart making a move.
Getting by Ross Chastain. Good move by Stuart Friesen. Ross is going to try to battle back. Not going to be able to do anything as they enter turns 3 and 4.
Well, and you think about the last couple of weeks for Stuart Friesen and that team, went through some major changes in their organization prior to Kansas. Came out, top 5 run, solid last week at Darlington, top 5 again, best run of the season. So this is a team that's gone through a transformation. They said, we're not where we need to be. We're going to do exactly what we need to do to get and find the sweet spot, and they have done it. And today, even though the truck has not been its best, he's finding his way toward the top 10 in this final stage.
He got beat, though, on a Ferris mower by you, didn't he, Michael, up in Bristol?
Well, those are quite the fun mowers to ride. And Stewart's got a lot of heart, that team, a lot of energy. And my heart's hurting for him right now. They had a loss in the family this week.
Yeah, John Gurley passed away on Mother's Day. A huge part of this organization. So as we celebrate the success of the 52 team, we send our condolences to the Gurley family and everyone that's a part of that 52 team. 75 laps to go at North Wilkesboro. .67 laps to go, and right as we return from break, our 8th caution of the day.
That's our biggest wreck of the day.
Dean Thompson in the 5.
I watched him and Haley battling for a position just inside the top 20, and that's how that battle might have ended.
Yeah, he had slid back to 24th. That's where he was scored when he hit the wall. The 0-2 is Chris Wright, and there is the 13 of Haley Deegan.
She's had quite a bit of damage on that right side today. A couple of trucks bouncing in to and off of her.
Timmy Hill, she got into when Timmy spun earlier. Chris Wright came along late and made contact. Here we go into turn number 1.
She just didn't look like she didn't try to make the turn so much. Looked like there was room for him to go low. Maybe her brakes.
And I think there's Chris Wright making contact. I think Dean was expecting her to turn down in the corner, take a normal arc into the corner, and
didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Wonder if Daniel Dye was anywhere in the area.
Well, you know he probably was.
Let's see if we can find him. Oh, here he is. He's right in the area. Yeah, she didn't. Her truck either slid up the hill or she just planted the 5 truck.
Yeah, I'm not sure she had an issue or what, but I like tires here, guys.
Heck
We've got 2 sets laying. It's been about 50 laps since we've been on pit road. Let's put some tires on, mix this thing up a little bit.
I like your attitude, Phil.
I think everyone's going to, though, so it's not going to. You're not going to be a lone ranger out there.
26 trucks on the lead lap. See, Thompson has already come down to work on the damage. Kyle Larson has led 84 laps today. That's the most. And I was surprised. This is only his 15th career start. But with the laps he's led here today, he's now led in 12 of his 15 starts. And in the prior 14, he's finished top 5 7 times and won a pair of them. So, and oh, by the way, he made his first Xfinity start 2023 last Saturday at Darlington, and he won. So he looks to stay undefeated today in truck and Xfinity competition in 2023.
I remember he won at Eldora, one of our dirt track races, which isn't a huge surprise, but I remember another great race he had at Eldora, and I told him after the race that his truck finally broke down in the final stage, and I said, I think you hit the wall 40 times in that last little stage. He said, no, it was more like 80, and the truck finally broke on him.
Here they go.
Phil said pit, and they were listening. Here they come with 64 laps to go, Jamie.
And Christopher Bell, first one to make the stop. You know, he struggled with being too tight early on, but he just said to his crew chief, John Leonard, over the radio, I figured something out on that run. We're going to be okay here. Keep this one short for me. Carson Hocevar, the number 42, up ahead. He said he doesn't want any adjustments. Quick 16-second stop, 4 fresh tires, maybe a drink, but that's all he needs, Josh.
With 7 of Kyle Larson, he felt really good about his long run truck. Well, they made some adjustments in that last stop. Felt really good about that short run truck as well right now as far as the 11 of Corey Heim. Well, he had felt he was struggling with drive off earlier in the race. They made adjustments, said it was getting much better.
Pit crews got to do their job. Race off pit road. Kyle Larson holds serve. Tight for that second spot. Corey Heim, number 1 pit stall after winning the pole last week at Darlington. Able to take advantage, +1. Hocevar loses 1. William Byron, we said he wasn't done yet, +3 on the pit lane. We've introduced the 51 to the conversation.
And I love this, 63 laps to go. All these drivers have at least one new set of tires still laying in the pits if we get another caution in 30 laps or so. A few of them have maybe 2 sets laying. I'm not sure they're going to have time to use all those tires, but we see another caution flag probably any time at the end of this race. I think they're going to come back in and put them on, as long as they don't have to do it too soon.
Coming up, the USFL kicks off at 4 Eastern on Fox as the Birmingham Stallions take on the Michigan Panthers. It's 35 minutes away. Tomorrow at noon Eastern time, the New Orleans Breakers battle the Philadelphia Stars on FS1. Then it's the New Jersey Generals against the Houston Gamblers at 4 on Fox. Football in the springtime on the Fox family of networks. We look forward to it later today and tomorrow as well. It's been a busy time for the Craftsman Truck Series. And a lot of home games right now. After a trip out west to Kansas, came home racing in Darlington, at North Wilkesboro, back to Charlotte.
Are we going to take that truck all the way to St. Louis?
Friday night. We sitting 3 across the front there. That doesn't look like a king cab, if you know what I mean.
I don't know about that. I'd like to get that little plane back out of where we go.
I like that. Although it is a short drive between here and home, and even down to Darlington last week.
It's a long way to St. Louis, though, from Charlotte.
What a run, though, we're on, right? Darlington, North Wilkesboro, Charlotte. That's just the heart of NASCAR. It's where it was born, and still this sport is rooted deep in tradition. And it just feels really good right now where we're at.
We talked about how fantastic this place looks, yet it still looks nostalgic. It still looks old like it did back in the 90s. But what an amazing job that Marcus Smith and his staff, Steve Swift and all the folks at SMI did for this racetrack.
Doing the choose, 3 of the top 4 take the inside lane, including Larson, the leader, and Heim, who was second. And if you're a Zane Smith fan and you're like, wait, where's the 38 he's not choosing? He was speeding, drops to the rear. Boy, that's a tough break with only what will be 59 laps to go when we get the restart.
Yeah, he started at the rear and he made his way to the front, but
it'll be hard to do it now.
This late in the game, that's a big penalty for him. Only hope he has if the caution flies and he's able to get some tires when others don't.
But he got all those stage points, so that helps, stop the bleeding when you talk about making something out of a day that may be all for naught.
See if Carson can do anything on that outside lane, at least get to second.
Back green at North Wilkesboro.
Everybody on the inside is going to try to squeeze him up, not let him get down. William Byron doesn't want that gap in between him and the 11.
And Phil, you know, as the laps wind down, the squeezing gets more and more aggressive. There's a hole for Carson, and he's going to take it.
Good move by Carson.
Willie just wasn't quite able to get there.
Matt DiBenedetto trying to get inside of the 23 at Grant Enfinger. 25's been strong today, so his Enfinger in that 23, our Kansas winner.
How about Matt Crafton now moving around Stuart Friesen? Matt's in that yellow number 88.
He just keeps going forward. Looks like he wants some of Christopher Bell. We know where he's going to go over here.
To the grass. Oh, trouble.
Ben Rhodes around in the 99. Caution number 9.
Stay up there. Caution's out.
He was 16th. Been a bit of a rough outing for our champion a couple of years ago.
See a little scuff on that right rear. Big spin down in turn 1. Let's go up high and see what happens.
Gotta assume there's probably some contact somewhere.
Right there.
Is that Christian Eckes in the 19 truck gets in the back of Ben and turns him around?
I don't think that was anything intentional, just bumper to bumper racing, and Christian gets in a little bit further than he thought when Ben let off the gas.
Yeah, nowhere for Ben to go. He was right behind Caden Honeycutt in the 20 truck.
Call up Daniel Dye to get a look at this with his Race to Stop Suicide onboard camera. Those are sometimes tough decisions, Phil. Do you get on the gas and just get out of Dodge, or do you check up? And Daniel said, we better get on out of here. Luckily, Ben Rhodes stayed up top, and there was no other contact.
Free pass goes to Ben Rhodes' teammate Haley Deegan. She's 26th, so 26 trucks on the lead lap. Going to be just over 50 laps to go when we go racing once again. Larson continues to lead.
They jump every restart outside of me. They take off before me every time. 10-4, I'll say something.
Does he ever get stressed?
That was about as stressed as he gets, and it didn't sound very stressed.
Yeah.
Certainly complaining about the trucks on the outside jumping. And NASCAR can monitor that. When he's the control truck on the restart, he's the one that sets the pace. If he's within the restart zone, it's up to him to restart this race. If he goes past the restart zone, then that's a different story. But NASCAR can monitor when these trucks jump on the gas from the SMT data.
There you see the black truck with Haley Deegan going around the top, getting back onto the lead lap.
And SMT data is sports media television. They have basically they're able to tell a lot of things about the speed throttled, when they get on the throttle, how much brake they're using, steering angle, all sorts of things that they can look at.
Throwing it back to Harry Gant there.
The Skull Bandit.
Nick Sanchez just took his Chevrolet to the garage. The rookie from Miami, Florida, has had an eventful weekend here at North Wilkesboro. Currently scored 33rd.
Ben Rhodes on pit road and off after that spin.
You know, with Larson leading, one of the things we talked about during practice yesterday is all the parity in the Craftsman Truck Series this year. 9 races, 7 different winners, 7 different organizations have been to victory lane. Spire, who Larson is driving for, would be an 8th. Hasn't it been remarkable to watch all the different teams, all the different drivers, all the different levels of experience that we've seen deliver in the early portion of this season?
Just a great competitive year in the Truck Series, and we always wonder how can we do better than what we did the previous year, and it seems like we always managed to.
Such good racing, such a great mix of young, aggressive teenagers, veterans.
Don't sprinkle a little cup guys, a few cup guys in here every now and then.
1 to go. We're choosing, as you see, the first 3 positions went to the bottom. That puts Willie B all the way up on the front row. Man, his eyes had to be wide open when he watched all that.
And you wonder how the trucks back, 20th or whatever, how they determine which lane to go. Their spotter will count either the inside trucks or the outside trucks, and they'll know what number they want. If you're running 20th, the spotter's going to say, okay, our number's 10. If you get 10 to the inside or 10 to the outside, then they know where you are. But a deal like this, you might give up a row like we saw some of those guys up front to get to that inside because it's so important.
For the top 5, Took the inside lane. I mean, that shows just how important it is. Front row, Cup teammates combined for 5 wins at NASCAR's top level this season. Inside Kyle Larson, outside William Byron. 51 remaining at North Wilkesboro for the Craftsman Truck Series.
I don't believe anybody jumped before Kyle did on that one. You know, you can change that around too, Phil. As a driver, he can just say, I'm leaving early.
Yeah,
they're not going to jump me because I'm going to leave early, and that's probably what he did.
William going to have a hole. He's going to stay to the outside of Carson Hocevar. Won't be able to stick with Carson on the outside. Now he's side by side with De Benedetto. Does he going to get enough to get in front of him? He is. Matt may have cut him a break as well.
3 wide back in the back. See Chase Purdy down on the bottom in that Bama Buggies Kyle Busch truck. Oh, that looks tight. Into the wall.
Tyler Ankrum into the wall, hit by Raja Karuth. Caution waves again. 10 laps to go.
Ben Rhodes and Zane Smith both heavily involved in that.
50 laps to go. 10th caution of the day.
Ben's trouble went from bad to worse with that crash, and Raja's got to be done.
I thought saw Zane. There's Zane with a lot of damage to the front of that boot barn truck as well.
Speeding penalty. You get put in the back, right, and it puts you right in the middle of the mess.
Ben Rhodes spun out, had to come to pit road. He's in the middle of the mess.
That looks like that right front tire's towed out too, Phil.
Yeah, might not be terminal, but it's certainly going to be hard to be competitive.
AMR safety team is there. And back on the lead lap from 27th, Tanner Gray gets the free pass. We had 9 cautions when we came here in 1996. When we came here in 95, first ever race here for the trucks, it was a 150 lap race. So that was a little different. So the 250 in 1996, we've done one better than that today with 10 cautions.
Hard racing here. That's Tyler Ankrum, the 16 on the outside. Christian Eckes, the 19 in the middle. They're going to get off for turn 2, and Ankrum's going to be kind of shoved up into the outside wall, I think, and that's just going to slow down that outside line.
Bounces off of the 2 trucks below him.
Yep.
And it just shot him out.
Yeah, and then he just slows down, and Raja with nowhere to go, as well as all these chain reaction trucks here. Absolutely nowhere to go for any of them.
What about Bubba and Nick Garcia? They did a nice job of staying to the bottom and missing this mess. See Timmy Hill slowing down there. Right there, just shoved. I might have said Nick Garcia. I meant Jake Garcia in the 35 truck. See right here, slipping to the bottom right there. Nice move by that 35 truck. This is going to be ugly. We're going to hop on board the 24 with Raja, see what he sees. What he's going to see is just a truck that stops in front of him.
Never even had time to get out of the throttle. Still in the throttle when he got to Tyler Ankrum.
Pushing Ben Rhodes, it looks like, behind the wall. Been a rough season for Ben in his eyes. Still up in the points pretty good, but truck hasn't been running like he wants it to.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that ThorSport, the last couple weeks haven't been very good to them. And the trend continuing a bit here today. A host of problems for their trucks. Matt Crafton being scored in the 8th position. But, you know, you look at Ty Majeski, started up front, 11th right now. Mentioned Ben Rhodes. Haley Deegan has been a lap down on multiple occasions.
Yeah, Kansas broke a streak of over 50 consecutive races on a 1.5 miles with at least one truck finishing in the top 10.
It's a new record, 10 cautions for the trucks at North Wilkesboro. 45 laps to go. And right on board with Raja Karuth. Hard hit here.
Coming up next on Fox, it's week 6 of the USFL as the Birmingham Stallions take on the Michigan Panthers. League's touchdown pass leader Alex Magoo trying to get the Stallions on the winning track, going up against one of the better running backs in the USFL, Reggie Corbin. We'll see you coming up on Fox.
Looking forward to football when we're all done here at North Wilkesboro. It's the Craftsman Truck Series, racing for the 10th time in 2023. First time we've been here in 17 years with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander.
27 years.
27 years. 27 years.
Yeah.
My gosh, what I let a little time pass there, you know?
We've seen a lot.
1996.
A lot of action today in our truck race.
It ain't over yet either.
Got a mess on the back straightaway we're still trying to clean up, Adam.
Well, this one's taking a little longer to clean up than some of the others we've had today. .41 to go. Let's listen to Kyle Larson.
How many sets do we have left? 2. As much as I want to come, I just, you know, the 51 short a set, so they won't come, you know, and the 61 short a set, so they won't come.
That's the whole ball game. Sets of tires. I thought this was too early. We probably only have 5, 6, 7 laps, green flag laps, since these guys put these tires on. Everybody, I think, has at least one set laying. That was Kevin Bono Mannion that said the 51 won't come either.
Corey Heim, wonder what they're thinking, listening on their radio.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right call, Fit. Right now we got a top 3 truck. If something happens to Larson, we might be able to get it, do what the 7 does. You know, he's the best truck. We won't be able to beat him if we're not on equal tires.
And now here with the crew chief of the 11 team, Scott Zipadelli. How you guys feeling running in second right now about holding this off and getting the win?
Well, in the big picture, second's not awful when you're trying to win a championship, you know, running for points. We've had good stage points all day, but it'd be pretty cool to win this iconic race. First time I've ever been here, and I got to say Dale Jr. and Marcus Smith, all the folks that have been involved in this restoration, this is amazing. So exciting to be here. Corey's doing a heck of a job. The TRD Pro Safe Light truck has been good since we unloaded it. We're a little bit off dead center. Need to make it roll the center a little bit better without losing forward drive, and maybe we could beat 7.
Thanks, Scott. Good luck the rest of the way.
He's a veteran crew chief, and he's never been here.
How about that?
That's interesting.
And I like the strategy. Do what the 7 does. Let's stay on equal tires with the 7. We have two of the best trucks. You know, last week at Darlington, Scott got a little bit off of strategy, saved a set of tires, and I think he probably had a top 3 truck there and didn't have enough time to use those new tires at the end, and finishing 8th. So I think it's a great call to see what the 7 does and try to stay on equal tires with him.
Pits are open. I don't think anybody up front is going to come. What do you think, Phil?
I don't think so either. I mean, somebody maybe outside the top 10, maybe gamble a little bit if they have a set of tires. Gamble on the fact that maybe we won't get another caution flag and it'll work for them.
Only one pulling out of line.
It's like Ross Chastain. Good. I think it's a good gamble. Ross hasn't really had the speed here, and if he can have better tires than everybody else, even though we still have 22 trucks on the lead lap, I think it's a good move.
Think what ask Larson what's going on?
I love it. I love that.
Let me give it a try.
Yeah.
He's my friend. He surely will answer.
Yeah.
Hello, Kyle Larson. It's Michael Waltrip in the Fox booth. You copy?
What's that?
Might have stepped on someone.
I think Waltrip, is that you?
Yeah, that's Waltrip. I was wondering if I could talk to Kyle.
Yep, sorry, I'm here.
Tell me how you're going to close this deal out. I know you're a little bit concerned about how the restarts are going. You feel good about it?
Yeah, I think our truck's really good. I was concerned with our short run speed early in the race, but I think that was just more traffic dependent. So we've been pretty good here and then really good on the long run. So it'd be nice to run this out to the end. I think we could cruise then, but I know how these truck races go. They get crazy, so just got to be on my toes for anything and any strategy that might kind of come into play here.
I got you. When's too late to get tires? Do you think you're still going to put tires on if the caution flag comes out? How will that play out, or do you know?
I don't know. I mean, I think it just depends on how long these runs are. I think if you get a, let's see, we're 2:13, you know, a 20-lap run, then yeah, everybody's going to probably have to come to get tires. But if they're short runs like this, I mean, I don't know. I think you just maybe keep staying out. I'm not really sure. But Bono's been doing a great job all day. Like I said, he prepared a great truck. So just try and close it out for him and HendrickCars.com and Rick Hendrick. So, you know, thanks to Aspire for the opportunity, and we'll see what we got.
One to go.
Yeah, I think I'll let him ride with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to say thank you, but if you're watching later, Kyle, thank you very much for talking to us in the heat of the battle.
And I love that he looked at the scoreboard to see what lap we were at.
Let's see here, lap 213.
Let's go to Jamie.
Well, Rajah Karuth has now been released from the infield care center. We saw that dramatic onboard. Looked like you were full throttle. I know you're frustrated. What do you say to yourself to get ready for next week?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to shake it off. These things happen, Jamie. But we were trying to make the most of our day with our Windows Foundation Silverado, and I think we were going to pick up some spots there at the end on those late race restarts and just had nowhere to go. So stinks because, again, we weren't having the best of days, but we were trying to make the most of it. And seeing right here, I tried to check up and just he hit the fence, and then he looked like he lifted too. So there's really nowhere to go, but we'll just keep digging and go to Charlotte next week and get a good result for the men and women on my 24 team. Can't say enough about them, everybody at GMS Fabrication, our body hangers, Mike Murray, Ron, and my personal partner. So we'll just keep digging.
Thank you.
Restart, 35 to go. Larson gets the jump.
Corey Heim to second. See if Carson Hocevar can fill that hole. And he is.
Oh, DiBenedetto wanted that bottom. He wanted the bottom of the racetrack and couldn't get it.
Willie B's going to try to take advantage of Matt, too. Can Matt get down behind Byron?
It's going to be a gap. There's a gap behind William right now.
It's a good turn right there for DiBenedetto.
I don't think he can do it down in this end. Ooh, bounced off the wall a little bit.
Got lost some momentum, allows Byron to drive through. Infinger tried to jump in there, but DiBenedetto gets down.
He almost waited too long. He barely had room, but nice move by Matt.
Speaking of Matt, look who's creeping forward. All day long, we've seen this 88 truck just get better and better.
Racing with Christopher Bell, one of the best we have. Really doing a nice job. Move Matt up to the 7th spot.
That's the highs he's been all day.
Matt racing here at North Wilkesboro. This is the 43rd different track where he has competed. For perspective, Ron Hornaday raced on 48 of 55 in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Pretty smooth restart there for Larson. He talked about his long run speed. He'd like to see this thing run all the way to the checker. Yesterday in our practice session, Corey Heim was one of the best trucks in the long run, along with Larson and Carson. That's interesting. Those three have surfaced at the top of the heap.
And probably just outside of them might have been the 51 of William Byron. And oh, by the way, he's 4th.
See the scoring pylon there. Caden Honeycutt with another solid run in that 20 truck.
Looking for his 2nd straight top 10, would be his 3rd of the year, and he's running part-time.
Chris Hacker to the inside. Oh, little bump there. Another little bump.
Chase Purdy, the 4 truck. Ty Majeski, the 98.
11th caution of the afternoon. And this for the 66, Connor Jones.
Now we're ticking toward it's getting interesting.
Now we got to think about it. We have to think about it again.
I still think maybe the leaders stay out, but there's going to be people take a chance, I would guess.
think so, too. Especially if you're outside of the top 10 right now. Why not?
Yeah.
And gamble on this thing going green the rest of the way. You'll be in great shape. 23 trucks on the lead lap. Chris Hacker will probably get the free pass. We'll be at 24. There's Chris, the Morgan & Morgan truck.
Talked yesterday about the fact that he ran in the Xfinity Series at Richmond, had a top 15 run. So Hacker, a talented driver out of Noblesville, Indiana.
That's up in your part of the country, isn't it?
Yeah, not too far away.
Flat left rear there on the 66 truck. Getting a report from NASCAR that they're going to hold the 66 for at least 2 laps because he intentionally caused a caution.
So they will bring him to pit road and hold him on pit road.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really want tires, Phil.
I would like tires, but I don't. It's hard to give up that track position right now. But if you're Kyle Larson and everyone comes behind you, you're in serious trouble. Let's see what they do here. Looks like Kyle's coming.
And he's going to drag
almost everybody with him. I want to see who's going to stay out.
Bubba's the first to stay out.
Bubba's going to.
And Ross Chastain, who pitted on our last caution, going to stay out. Everybody else, or at least most everybody, coming down pit road. 27 to go. Jamie, here they are.
And for Matt DiBenedetto, the question came from the team, do you want us to make any adjustments? Matty D thought about it for a second. He paused and he said, nope, just leave it as it is. We've gone in the right direction. Give me 4 fresh tires. Carson Hocevar, very similar story. He didn't make any adjustments the last pit stop either. He's happy with what he has to go to the finish. Josh?
Well, the debate wasn't long for the 17 that decided to come in. They said, we got 2 more sets. It's coming. Get those tires. Kyle Larson, of course, feels good about that truck, good about the long run speed. As far as the 11, more complaints for them. Yeah, Corey Heim just saying he still doesn't have the forward drive and can't do exactly what the 7 is doing. So he needs a little bit more to be able to catch that 7.
Race off pit road. Ty Majeski playing strategy. 2 tires for the 98. They go plus 10. Corey Heim gets out in front of Kyle Larson, who loses 2 spots after coming in as the race leader. And we had some trucks that stayed on the track. So this is going to be a really interesting situation on the restart.
Bubba Wallace is going to be our leader. He pitted on lap 187. And what that means is he's saving his tires for later, I think. I mean, he still has the option of coming down pit road at a later date. And then Ross Chastain only has a handful of laps on his tires, and he's going to restart second, Jamie.
And Zane Smith now been released from the Infield Care Center as well. You started this race last. You raced yourself all the way up into the top 2. What experience do you take away from today?
Just, I guess, live and learn. Don't want to be mad at but myself, really. Just didn't think I was speeding. Was put in a weird situation when that lap car came down in front of us and was just trying to maximize lights as I was watching them pull away from me, and obviously just maximized a little bit too much in a certain area. I don't really quite know where exactly I was speeding yet, but really fast boot barn forward. It's just a product of what happens when you get put back there, so don't want to be mad at but myself.
Frustrating day for Zane Smith, who has a pair of wins coming into competition this afternoon. If you're tuning in for the USFL, we'll get you there when we're all done here in North Wilkesboro. USFL on the way, Birmingham and Michigan. After we finish with the Craftsman Truck Series, going to be just over 20 laps to go when we get this restart after wrapping up our 11th caution period of the day.
I think on this restart, Adam, Bubba is going to be in trouble. He pitted on lap 187. Right now we're on lap 226. Ross Chastain pitted on lap 212. He doesn't have that many laps in his tires. Let's see what happens.
Kyle Larson coming from row 4. He's dominated the race here today.
Haley Deegan in the middle there. She stayed out. She's in trouble. Matt Crafton's trying to crack the top 5. He's on the outside of Larson.
And Majeski, 2 tires on Majeski, trying to battle Bubba Wallace. Bubba had the bottom of the racetrack, had the preferred line.
Majeski can't make it work in the outside lane to get around, so he slides down in behind Bubba Wallace in position to second. Well, he had a peak there, didn't he?
I think Bubba's going to be vulnerable down possibly in 1 and 2. If he can stick down to the bottom of the racetrack in 3 and 4, not slide up off that dark part of the racetrack, I think he's going to be okay in that end till some of the guys maybe with 4 tires get there.
Great exit there by Corey Heim trying to get in front of Matt DiBenedetto. Matt says, no, thank you, sir. Grabs that spot away. Great run for Matt DiBenedetto.
See Heim get sideways coming off the corner. Back in, coming around.
Now Corey Heim up out of the groove. Kyle Larson going to try to take advantage. What a great trouble. That was Corey Heim bounced off the wall.
I think there was a squeeze there with Matt DiBenedetto.
Look at the right rear corner of Matt's truck. Look at Larson trying to get underneath Matt. He's going to get there.
We've hit our Craftsman, 20 to go. Going to be 19 this time around. Bubba Wallace, the strategy play is out front of Ty Majeski. Ross Chastain also a bit out of balance when it comes to the strategy, is third. And Kyle Larson, who has dominated this race, is fourth.
Chastain and Larson racing for...
Have they been together recently?
That's going to get aggressive, I bet. Larson to the outside. Did Chastain lay over? I think he did. He knew he wasn't as fast as Larson and just got out of the way.
Larson up to third.
Larson didn't want to take a chance of getting out of the groove and having a line of trucks get by him. But what an amazing job that Bubba is doing, holding off Majeski with older tires.
But you know who's in the catbird seat?
Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. He's just going to stalk these guys down. You heard him talking when we were chatting under caution. He's looking for long runs. He wants these 17 laps to run green, and he thinks he's going to win this race.
You see in the pylon the difference on the tires. Last time they came to pit road. Larson for second. Makes it look easy as he goes around Ty Majeski.
Yeah, 4 tires for Larson. No match for the 98. Majeski with 2 tires.
Bubba's truck has gotten better all day. We talked about his long run speed and how well he had come to life late in this race, but he's got nothing for Kyle Larson right here.
15 laps to go.
Kyle can just be patient. He knows he has the tire advantage right now.
Look at that. Just able to eat to the inside of that one truck.
A little bit of a nudge from Kyle to Bubba.
Bubba is fighting at the front on those older tires.
It's impressive.
Bubba knows if Kyle gets there to the bottom in 3 and 4, it's all over. Going to be a good run up off the corner for Kyle.
13 to go. Here's the 7 to the inside. New leader at North Wilkesboro. It's Kyle Larson.
Bubba's back.
Crossover move. Larson back to the inside. Ty Majeski coming with him.
What a great move by Bubba. Didn't think he was going to be able to pull that off.
And now Larson clears.
Larson just has to stay on the bottom. Get down to the bottom when he gets to turn 3.
Majeski with a nice run off turn 2, trying to squeeze inside of Bubba. He's going to get there. Ross Chastain fourth. What a call by the Majeski team to get just 2 tires and some track position.
Great call. Wasn't really just around 10th, 12th is where Majeski was. If he can hold on here to a top 5, that would be an amazing job.
That's when you thank the crew for everything they did, including a gutsy call late.
Closing on 4 o'clock on the East Coast. Football comes your way next. Almost done at North Wilkesboro with the Craftsman Truck Series. 10 laps remaining. Kyle Larson out front.
DiBenedetto gets to the inside of Larson to grab that 4th spot. What a great run for that Rackley team.
Yes, it is. Talked to Matt yesterday. He was really excited. Look at that damage on the right rear. A little squeeze action on the front straightaway, but nonetheless, really fast truck as he gets around Ross Chastain.
Didn't have a great qualifying run, and I thought maybe they'd be bothered by where they were, but he really wasn't stressed out prior to the race, and we see why. Been fast all day long. Drove right up inside the top 10 and played the strategy right. Enjoyed a great afternoon.
He's going to try to grab that 3rd spot. I think he's going to do it as well. Those fresher tires. Got 8 laps to do it.
Bubba has done an amazing job on these older tires.
There comes Carson around Ross into the top 5. Trying to hunt down Bubba on those older tires. He's just up ahead of Matt DiBenedetto.
What a performance for Kyle Larson. 6 laps to go. And just when I was getting ready to celebrate his success and talk about a run to the finish, we get our 12th caution of the day.
That was a squeeze play again down in 3 and 4.
I was just looking at the scoring monitor, Michael, excuse me, and Eckes had made his way up into the top 10.
Chase Purdy down on the bottom. Slides up a little bit and just gets into Eckes.
Caden Honeycutt does a really nice job getting around them to move up into the 10th spot. Stuart Friesen, a nice job to miss the 19 of Eckes as well.
Purdy had the position, just wasn't able to hold it down on the bottom, slid up and made contact, and that caused that caution.
Free pass here goes to Chris Wright. He's 25th.
There's a flat tire for Eckes, some damage on that left side.
Yeah, Eckes is going to come to pit road. Pit road is not open. That means he will have to restart from the tail end of the longest line, which he was probably going to be there anyway, but he can't ride around on that flat tire and do any more damage to that truck, the suspension of that truck.
We were showing 4 laps to go when they came across the start-finish line, so it's likely going to result in an overtime situation. First time the trucks have been here since 1996. And we get some bonus racing at North Wilkesboro.
That scoreboard's classic. NASCAR back at North Wilkesboro. Marcus Smith and his team thought of every detail to keep this place as rustic and as near original as they could, while making all the
and making it beautiful.
Making it beautiful at the same time. North Wilkesboro Speedway.
I mean, it's almost surreal, really, to be back here at this place after so many years. I think, Adam, you talked about it. When has an arena been rejuvenated like this one has in all of sports?
And the way the fans in this community have embraced it and never gave up hope of someday NASCAR returning here. And if you drove by on the highway in the last 10, 15 years, you would say absolutely no way we'll ever be there again. But here we are on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon, stands full, anticipating the All-Star race tomorrow night, the best in the business when it comes to stock car racing, and a real treat today. Overtime finish for the Craftsman Truck Series.
We got some overtime rules, Adam.
Let's get to it. 2-lap shootout. If the leader takes the white flag under green, next flag ends the race, whether it's the caution or the checkers. Should the caution flag come out before the leader gets back around, sees that white flag, we'll line them up, do it all over again, and we can stay here as many times as we need to finish this thing off.
It wouldn't surprise me that we go more than one restart.
I think Kyle Larson, with the tire advantage that he has in the front, will take control of the race, but there's a lot of people that are going to be fighting hard for every position they can get.
And how many of these guys are going to try to take the inside when we have to choose?
Today marks the 3rd of 5 consecutive weeks of racing for the Craftsman Truck Series. Next Friday night, home game, Charlotte Motor Speedway on the 1.5 miles.
What do you think? We just go about 80 miles south on I-77, something like that?
Yeah, and add about 100 miles an hour to the trucks thereabouts.
Yeah.
That track has got a lot of speed in it for these trucks.
Triple header weekend for NASCAR. Trucks on Friday, Xfinity Saturday with our drivers only broadcast Sunday, the Coca-Cola 600.
Bubba's going to take the outside. You never know if you can just squeeze ahead of somebody and the caution comes out, and somebody being Kyle Larson, and the caution comes out at the right time, there's a possibility that you might get that lead for the next restart.
We talked to Larson about the restarts, making sure he gets the advantage that he deserves from being the leader. The way to ensure that, Phil, is just go early. As soon as you get to the line to where you can restart, just hit the gas. Then that way you know you're going to be the first one to go.
Don't go before that line, though.
Larson's led 135 laps today, trying to finish him off in overtime. Shot out of a cannon as the green flag goes back in the air.
Oh, and they're tight back there.
Needs to get a little bit of gap so that rear bumper doesn't get worked on.
Matt Crafton down low again, trying to gain some ground doing so.
Bubba's hung on the outside.
Larson off of turn 4, coming back to the white flag.
White flag right here, one more.
Lap to go, next flag ends the race. Been 27 years since NASCAR came to North Wilkesboro. And this return belongs to Kyle Larson. A dominating performance, 3rd career victory for Larson comes at North Wilkesboro.
Good job today. Great truck. Great truck, guys. Good job.
That was a dominating performance, as you said, Adam. Once he got control of this race, he never gave it up.
Very patient at the end, even though he lost that track position through the strategy. And he makes it to the end, gaining the checkered flag for the 3rd time in his career. Congratulations, Kyle Larson. We hear from him next. Today marked the 15th start in the Craftsman Truck Series for Kyle Larson. And he picks up the checkered flag for the 3rd time, leading 138 laps and getting it done at North Wilkesboro. Jamie?
Kyle Larson is still sitting in the truck. He's got his helmet off. He collected the checkered flag, did a full lap reverse course. You hear the fans yelling in the background. It is his very first truck race of the 2023 season. It was a racetrack that you had 0 experience on, Kyle, coming into this race. What do you take with you now to the All-Stars tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know. Really fun track there, especially in the truck. You know, you can use the apron and such, and in both ends there, and had a good time. That was a lot of fun on the long runs there, lapping trucks. So huge thank you to Bono, everybody on this team. You know, I wasn't supposed to run, so you know, unfortunately Alex got hurt and allowed me the opportunity to run this. So thanks to everybody at Spire Motorsports for allowing me to race their truck, HendrickCars.com, Rick Hendrick for also letting me run. So been a good couple weeks, so we keep it rolling.
Congratulations.